This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of the show is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. I've changed that up, Jason. I usually say can or will. If you're listening, they want to change their life.
Indeed.
And they're wanting to change their life by getting some better information. So I am now changing the word, coming in here to the year 2026 that will change your life.
New year, new intro.
Here we are, New Year's Day, January the 1st, 2026. And which brought up some thoughts on what is New Year's Day. And frankly, what's kind of ironic is that the big celebration of the new year really is done on New Year's Eve, the 31st, which is the year before. And then it trickles into the night. And frankly, Jason, most people spend New Year's Day recovering from what they did on New Year's Eve.
Yes, indeed. Day one typically is spent just miserable. For a lot of people.
It is. I don't have any idea what you're talking about, but yes, I'm very aware of how a lot of other people do their thing. And New Year's Day is kind of just pretty mellow, except for maybe a little bit of food, you know, where those black-eyed peas come into play.
Oh, yeah.
Which I do not eat, by the way. So, have you heard of the Gregorian calendar?
I have.
That was like the original calendar back in the day. And the New Year's Day first calendar was the Gregorian calendar, which most areas at that time used. Now, you got to remember, the western part of the world hadn't even been discovered yet. So you're talking about all of the European stuff that at that time was the only areas that we had. But now, in present day, with most of your countries now using the Gregorian calendar, as they call it, the civil calendar, starting January the 1st. Now, dating back to the Babylonian calendar, started in 2000 BC. That's the first year that we basically celebrated the new year. And the first month of the year back then, Jason, was called Nisan. Not January, Nisan.
Okay.
Back in those days now, 4,000 plus years ago, the calendar only had 10 months. How about that? And once upon a time, the first month of the year was March. I did not know all this.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. I mean, you know, you got to think about it. It had to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. And turns out, I guess the Gregorian calendar is what we use today.
Yeah, like
I just didn't know the name of it.
Like I always say, who founded Texas? Someone other than Texans founded Texas.
Yeah.
They had to come from somewhere.
I'm familiar with the Julian calendar as well.
Yes.
Which don't use a whole lot, but you would think that would actually know the name of the calendar I actually use on a daily basis.
Since you brought up the Julian calendar, let me just tell you. Did you know who invented the Julian calendar?
No, I did not.
Julius Caesar.
Okay.
In 46 BC.
Okay.
And frankly, he reformed the Roman calendar. It took effect January the 1st, 45 BC. And that calendar became the predominant calendar for Europe and the Western world. Now, you also got to remember, the Western world was not the United States of America.
Yeah.
The Western world at that time was France, England,
yep,
the Western part of Europe.
Yeah.
And that's what they were calling the Western world. And it stood the test of time for 1,600 years. And then back to the original, where it starts with January through December and January the 1st. Now, back in those, well, let's just go back to the 7th century. Did you know back before BC, gift giving was a big deal. Well, there was no Christmas. See, like, Christmas is when you give the gifts. Whether people know what Christmas means or not, this is the one thing they know. You get some gifts on Christmas. Don't know if it's because Jesus' birthday or whatever. They know they're going to get some gifts. Well, back in those days, there was no Christmas. So the gift giving happened on the first day of the year. Very, very interesting. Now, coming present day, and as the viewers and listeners know, New Year's Eve, midnight, is celebrated whenever it hits your particular time zone. And you know, the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere obviously have to hit up with each other, and they do that in the Pacific Ocean. So let's take Hawaii, one of the last areas to celebrate New Year's Eve. And as soon as they celebrate New Year's Eve, it's January the 2nd, not so far away from them, to the west. Kind of interesting, if you ask me. Like I say, your local time zone in the United States of America, the biggest, I think, celebration is the ball dropping in Times Square. And even though, like on the West Coast, you're still 3 hours away, that's always been the big deal to me. Is, you know, we live in the Central Time Zone, an hour away. That when that ball dropped, the New Year started.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't started the parties, or they had started the parties, but not the midnight celebration, like New Orleans and then Las Vegas. I mean, the shows that I grew up watching, it started in New York, it went to New Orleans, and then it ended in Las Vegas. And it ended in Las Vegas, I was already asleep.
Yeah. Well, actually, by the time it's New York, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, well, just, let me ask you a question then. Over the last 20 years, how many midnights do you think you have seen?
Well, I can tell you it's dropped off over the last handful of years, but...
Yeah, but I went 20.
Yeah.
Trying to give you a little bit better sample size.
I would say 3/4 of them I make it to midnight.
Less than 50% of the people see midnight.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I am now.
Exactly.
I'll celebrate with London.
You do London?
Yeah, there you go. It's about 7 hours ahead.
You're in bed by 7, 8 o'clock, huh?
Yeah. What are they, like 5 hours actually?
Yes. Like France, that part of Europe is 8 hours ahead of us. I think it's 6 hours in Great Britain, because I think they're 5 hours ahead of like New York. So
6 hours.
6 hours. There you go. There it is. All right. That line I was talking about out in the West is called the International Date Line. For those of you who wanted to know, that's where it all happens. Now, nevertheless, what are some of the traditions of not only New Year's Eve, but going into New Year's Day? And I found this very interesting. Okay. The foods and the eats. Eating black-eyed peas and greens. Now, have you ever heard the greens as well? Because, obviously black-eyed peas are not green.
Either one of them. I'm typically not eating.
Not involved in either one?
No.
Okay. Well, the green represents money. So, there you go.
Maybe I should. And
a big tradition that is from the Italy and Spain area is 12 grapes. You eat one grape per month for good luck, which is coming your way. Okay? Toasting with champagne or other bubbly beverages is good luck. What is the biggest symbolic action on New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day? Kiss at midnight. A kiss ensures love and good fortune for the year. People know about some of these things, but do they really know the meaning behind it? So kissing is to give you love and good fortune for the year. Making noises. making noises, banging pots, pans, fireworks. That's to ward off the evil spirits for the year. How about that? Interesting, huh?
I like it.
Empty suitcase. You ever heard of that one? Walking around your house with an empty suitcase to invite travel into the new year.
That's interesting for sure.
Started in Colombia. Cleaning, Jason. Avoid cleaning on New Year's Day to keep luck in the house. So we're going to not clean, and we're going to bang the pots and pans to ward off the spirits. But we're going to not clean to keep the good stuff, the good luck, in the house. This is all good stuff, isn't it?
I like it.
Yeah, and of course the fireworks and the ball drop and all those good times, and we've discussed the New York City deal. Here is one that we talk about a lot on this show. Resolutions and wishes. Writing down goals or wishes. And sometimes burning them or keeping them in a time capsule. You ever wanted to put something in a bottle and throw it in the ocean? I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But I never could find a way to get out into the middle of the ocean. So I never could able to do it.
Well, I've been on a few cruises. I guess I could have done it then, but
well, I'm gonna
they have cameras typically along the sides of those cruise ships.
Well, the next time you go on them cruise ships, I'm going to send a bottle with you. Hey, the local lake here in our area, what if we went out in the middle of that and dropped into one? How long do you think it'd take for somebody to get that bottle and then give me a call? 45 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
First footing. The first person to cross the threshold in the new year brings luck. Make sure you do that, Jason. Make sure you're involved in that deal. Colored underwear. Wearing specific colors. Red for love and yellow for money. That brings you luck. How about that?
Make sure you're wearing your colored Calvin Kleins, huh?
Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Now, I don't know what you do if you don't wear underwear. They didn't give me a disclaimer on that. Which country has the first New Year? Kiribati.
Don't know that one.
It is in, obviously, the eastmost line of islands out in the water, just a little bit west, like I say, of, I don't want to say Hawaii, because if you drew a line, it'd be a little bit west of Hawaii, but it may be way up in the northern part of the Pacific Ocean. Frankly, I don't know. But the world's farthest forward time zone, just west of the international date line, that's where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's there you go. Can I wash my hair on New Year's? Cleaning during the lunar New Year, however, is thought to risk getting rid of any luck accumulated in the house. Sweeping, taking out the garbage, or even washing your hair should be avoided. Don't let your children find out about that one. They'll use that for a long time. All right, what is the most common rituals? And a lot of these things we have already talked about. The kiss at midnight, the 12 grapes at midnight. I've never heard of that.
No.
The 12 grapes at midnight.
Black Eyed Peas is the only one I know.
What if you should get the green grapes or the purple grapes?
Mixture of both. Why not?
And just rotate back and forth?
Why not?
Fill your kitchen cabinets for good, healthy eating for the year. Have cash in your wallet. Well, that's a tough one.
Nowadays it is for sure.
Yeah. First of all, forget the fact that you don't have any money. Let's say you do. Nobody carries cash.
Yeah.
Is cash no longer king?
Oddly, the only reason I have cash on me right now is because of Christmas.
I mean, does it drive you crazy? You go to a stinking ball game and you got to have a cell phone to get in because your computerized digital tickets on your phone, and you have to have a credit card to buy a bottle of water because they don't take cash at the concession stand.
Yep, no longer.
Incredible. Even at a high school. You go to a high school, and if you don't have a credit card on you, now this is a couple of high schools that I've been to over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
You don't have a credit card on you, you cannot go in and watch your child play.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've seen it. Over the last couple of years. Now I've been to quite a few, so some of them did take cash and card, but all of them took card, and some of them were only card.
Well, one of the rituals of New Year's is having cash in your wallet.
Yeah.
I don't know why now.
Yeah. What if it ain't your money?
They didn't get into that in my research.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mine's all my kids' money from Christmas.
Well, you've got some. That's the main thing.
There you go.
Don't clean your house on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Bad luck. And here's another one with the black. I told you about the greens being for money. Here's you another one. Eat collard greens. Eat collard greens and black-eyed peas. Black-eyed peas is always mentioned.
And that's just general luck?
That's what it says.
Okay.
I can only give you the information that I went out and researched and found. And I mean, that there it is. I did not know that there never was not a January until this particular show. I like it though. History's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
We discover a lot of that on here. So if you want to have a good year for 2026, you might consider some of these symbolic actions, the food, the drinking, the celebration, the rituals, etc. Now, you know what most people will do?
What's that?
Nothing. Nothing.
I'm probably part of that group.
Now, I will tell you, you get an individual in this day and age, and I'm going to say 60 to 65 years or older, and you walk into their house. Now, of course, that's the grandparents and the great-grandparents of today's society. You walk into their house on January the 1st of practically any year, you will find a pot of black-eyed peas on the stove.
No doubt.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Now, you walk into any apartment, because we know the young folks can't afford houses. You walk into any apartment of a 30-year-old or below on New Year's Day. Well, first of all, you probably won't get through the door because they're not going to answer it. But number one, they're probably asleep. Yeah, I think you started the show off with that deal. Nevertheless, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Jason. And we have that one deal there about writing down your wishes and your goals. We have ours down. 500,000 people on our show, viewers and listeners, in the calendar year. The calendar year of 2026. Please reach out to me at info@mx3.vip. Find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MX3 Podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday and Thursday morning around 9 o'clock. Also, go down into the YouTube part and give us your comments. We're going to be big year for comments on our YouTube pages, Jason. Big year for that. So, Happy New Year's 2026 to everyone who's a part of Money, Motivation, and Mike. And for that, continue to live your life the right way.